Just look at that rust in there. This piston is totally welded to the side of the cylinder. The answer to the question, is my engine a pile of trash, is yeah. Yeah, it is. And it certainly couldn't rotate, and probably hasn't rotated in about 20 plus years since this was parked in the barn. What I have here is now two engines. So in the previous video you would have seen that I established that pistons 2 and 3 are rusted to the cylinder sidewall and the block is basically irreparable. I've been able to get another 1.8 8 valve engine out of a running car that is being scrapped. It's the same block and the same head, although there are some differences between the two. The rocker cover is slightly different to the original rocker cover. It has a different kind of attachment for the PCV valve. It has a different engine mount configuration over here, probably because it came out of a Mark 1 Sirocco, and maybe this rear right engine mount is different to the one that's on the GTi. Other than that, on closer inspection, the exhaust manifold is different. The exhaust manifold is the kind that has that kind of cone shaped adapter from the earlier style exhaust with the clips that holds it on, which was then replaced by the exhaust manifold on the 87, which has the 6 nuts that bolt on. Other than that, these blocks are identical, which is brilliant. It has a nice smooth water pump that is much smoother than this one. This one is stiff. You can see that the oil cooler and the oil filter are much newer than the ones that I took off originally, because the engine that this car came off had only done about 90,000 miles, which is remarkable that this engine's done 146,000 miles, if it is the original engine. Obviously, when it went off the road in the very early 2000s, it could very well have had a different engine in it. I don't know. I'm still waiting for documentation to come back from the DVLA, so I don't know what the registered engine number is. But I'm replacing like for like in this build. I'm not going to do a 1.8 turbo conversion or a VR6 conversion on this particular vehicle. I'd like to try that in future, but not on this car, not at this stage. So it came with some spark plug leads, which is nice, thanks very much. Everything else looks good. It doesn't seem to be leaking too much from the head gasket. The distributor has been removed. This is the Dizzy over here. I've got the clutch and flywheel. I'm going to remove it just to check to see which of the two clutches I'm going to use, because the one that came off this engine, honestly, it looks virtually new. I'll compare it to the one that's on this engine, put the better of the two onto it. Of course, what I need to do is refresh all the seals on this engine. I'm going to do everything to the new engine that I was planning to do to the old one. So I'm going to refresh all of the gaskets, all of the seals, because I don't want to put it back on the car and then discover that it's got problems. I have been assured by this seller of this engine that it came out of a running car and the engine definitely rotates. I've got myself a 19mm socket. I'm going to rotate it clockwise. Look at that. Oh, it's got lovely compression. That is exactly what that engine was supposed to have done. What I'll do now is strip down this engine, take the head off so I can replace the head gaskets. I'm going to have a think about whether or not I replace the water pump. I have purchased a timing belt kit. I'm going to fit a new timing belt, but it could do with a really good clean. What I am going to do is remove the rocker cover. Like I said, it's slightly different to the one that came off that car. I need to take off this exhaust manifold, take off the clutch. Catch you in a YouTube moment. I have now removed the flywheel and the cover plate at the back, and the reason that I've done that is because I want to replace these seals on the crankshaft. This is the flywheel side, and you can see just in the corner here that this seal has definitely been leaking. I've run into a little bit of a problem, and that is I cannot get this dizzy to shift because the replacement block that I got didn't come with a dizzy. It's definitely coming out. Yes. All right. Hey. Oh, it's loose. There we go. It's out. Where's my bag? There's my bag. And that is the distributor, otherwise known as Dizzy. Give me a thumbs up for my efforts. I would really appreciate it, and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, stay up to date with the progress of this survivor build of Patina Pete. I don't know if this head is the same as the original. I'll only know for sure if the valves are the same size once I've taken it apart. I do need to reseal this engine anyway, so I don't want to use it the way that I've purchased it, because who knows when the last time was that it had new seals and all the rest of it. So I want to do that all before I put it back into the GTi. But right now what I'm going to do is just strip this all off. I need to remove the timing belt, and then I can remove the rocker cover, and then I'll get access to the head bolts, which I can remove and then take the head off, and we can inspect the pistons. There we have top of the head gasket, which is a rubber gasket, not a cork one like on the GTi's original engine. So this has been upgraded with the plastic gasket. Before I turn the block upside down, I do need to drain the oil, so I'm going to do that quickly, and then we'll rotate it and take the sump off. Clearly I didn't have the engine at the correct angle to drain all the oil out of the sump. It's a lot of oil in there still. Let this drip for a few hours, and then I'm gonna turn it upside down and have a good look. Was fairly straightforward. I've got the gear for the oil pump shaft off. It does look like that was weeping, and then this gear came off pretty well. Now the sump will fit to the bottom over here, so I would expect that there might be some oil down this bottom part, but you can see on the top part over here there's definitely oil where the seal was, and there's definitely oil over there and down this corner. So this seal was in fact leaking. You can see just over there, which corresponds to this surface over here on the block. So this was leaking through on those places. The other thing that I did notice was that that was an Allen key, and then this bolt, and this bolt were all 10mm and different lengths, and that one there was a 13. It is a larger bolt hole, so that's okay, but I wonder why these were different lengths. I'll have to have a look at the diagram. But that's the end of the crankshaft over there. It's held up by these cradles, and they are bolted into the block to hold the crankshaft in place. You can imagine when the engine's spinning at 4, 5, 6,000 RPM, this little doodad is spinning like crazy. To get this off, 213mm, that cover should pop off with the seal in place. That is the little end cap from the oil pump shaft. That has a seal in it, so I just need to remove this and then press in the new one. Incredible that this little piece of metal was machined more than 40 years ago and installed on this car. I love it. This is an original VW part, stamped with VW and Audi logos there, interestingly enough, way back then. Oh, there's a little seal in there. Hello. It's a little rubber seal there. So I need to be very careful with that little piece there. There was oil on this edge around that side. It definitely was letting a little bit of oil through, which is not surprising after 40 odd years. So this little plastic ring over here seems to fit just over that chamfer there on the back, that beveled edge on the back of this end cap, but it doesn't fit tightly. It moves around a little bit. Now I don't know if that's because it's expanded over time, but it does have a beveled edge on the back, and there is a beveled edge on the inside of the block there. I need to be careful when I put this back in that I face the beveled edge back towards the engine. If you can see it just there. Fascinating. Love it. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and stick around to see me go through the process of putting this 1986 Golf GTi 8-valve back on the road after it was abandoned in a barn for more than 21 years. I don't know if the engine was seized and then put in the barn, or if the engine became seized because it was put in the barn. Alright, let's turn this engine over and inspect the other side, the underside. Oh, interesting. So that is the oil pickup. It's got no residue or detritus in there. which means that it wasn't picking up any crud from the sump. Like I said, the sump was pretty clean, it had nothing in it, no metal shavings or anything like that. So this is the underside, it's the crankshaft there, and then the base of the conrods. This little prong over here is the dipstick. So yeah, all looks pretty good in there. Wow man, it looks so good down in the bottom of those pistons there. Amazing. I don't see any shiny little bits anywhere. We'll just see if there's any play in the actual crankshaft, because that would be bad news. Nothing. Fantastic. This is the gasket, which has a smooth side facing the block and then a textured side facing the sump. So you can see the sump has actually got these little recesses in that surface which mates to the bottom of the block, which is why it's imprinted this pattern on the underside of the gasket. So that's good to know. I'm not sure if there was sealant put on here. There was leaking from there, most definitely. You can see definitely leaking from that corner, definitely leaking from this corner, but this does appear to be paper. That's sealant. So this is the oil pump over here. I'm not going to replace that because, like I said, this engine was running. It hasn't failed. I'm just resealing it before I put it into my Golf, because this came out of another car. So this plastic thing over here, which clips onto the pickup pipe, is actually a baffle to stop the oil from sloshing around inside the sump when you do hard cornering. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.